What's up, Solutionaries? Some folks get in here. For everybody that is new to the channel, welcome. Thank you. We appreciate you. YouTube.com/Black Guns Matter. Real quick, we're going to talk about a lot. Obviously, we're going to talk about this guy over in, I don't even know what city it is, but a bunch of people sent me this video today. Basically pulling out a gun after women declined him. I'm going to talk about a few things in here. Now, the reason why this is on the Black Guns Matter channel, again, youtube.com/Maj Toure is my other channel. We're going to start talking about a lot of things that don't have nothing to do with guns on that channel. I want to keep some of those things a bit separate in that regard, okay? With that being the case, we're talking about this now because there was a firearm involved in this scenario. So we're going to let a few people jump on in here. Thanks to everybody. What's up, J-Dub? None of your business. Thank you for that. Everybody that wants to support the work, super chats. If you got questions, if you want me to post your question, if you got a business or anything like that, when you do the super chat, the money goes towards the work. So everybody that shows in here, toss bread, do what you do. We appreciate it all. If you got a few questions before we get started, Mark the Mariner, what's up? Before we get started, say them now or whatever, even outside of the super chat. Quick shout outs to everybody that's buying tickets for the Solutionary Summit. The Solutionary Summit will be September the 3rd through September the 5th in sunny Miami, when the rest of the world, for the most part, is going to be going into fall. Miami's still sunny. So we're going to look forward to everybody in there. Solutionarylifestyle.org is the website for that. You can get tickets, you can get packages, you can come on the yacht with us. You can, we can train with some really, really informative people and meet a bunch of people. We have not released all of the speakers yet. We haven't released any of the speakers, but I can tell you one of them is Dr. Boyce Watkins. He'll be there. I did an interview with him yesterday. It went really, really well. But again, solutionarylifestyle.org, and we're going to get into this. Now, again, this is being discussed on this particular channel because there was a gun related. Now, some of the topics or views that I'm going to express in this particular live are my own views, okay? First, we'll start with women, okay? Ladies first, right? To give a breakdown, I'm going to bring up the video so everybody can see this video real quick. The video basically goes into some women, and it's very edited, okay? And in any scenario, it's very important for us to refrain from making a full decision on a situation until we see a lot more context. There's two different angles of this video that were recorded from camera phones, and obviously early on we have limited information. As with everything, more information comes out, whether that's hearsay, whether that's people firsthand accounts verbally, or there's other video footage. And right now, these are the two angles that we have that that are widely being circulated on the internet. This video speaks to our women. You have a more of a responsibility to be more armed, in my view. I think women aren't necessarily associated with aggression. I think that y'all don't got shoulders, like upper body strength may not be as prevalent as males. So I want to stress very importantly the importance of women being armed, meaning women knowing some of those hard skills, some of those soft skills, as well as some of the things that have absolutely nothing to do with a firearm, whether that's a flashlight, whether that's tape, whether that's rope, whether that's a whistle, whichever way. I want you to start whatever you're initially comfortable with. I want women to make sure that you're thinking about this. We tend to, women in my experience tend to think I'm a woman. Generally, people respect women, men respect women, but occasionally you run into a weirdo. And in this scenario, there was a weirdo that, based on the information that we know, this guy basically said, attempted to approach the women, wanted to take one or multiple of these women at this outdoor dining area, wanted to take them out. And they said that they respectfully declined. Now, again, some of these statements that I'm going to make today in this particular live are my personal view. So we're going to go over after we look at the video, we're going to talk about, and we'll take some questions. Again, if everybody hit the like button, share this all over the place. Y'all know we trying to get that energy up in regards to social media. And again, We will be doing more lives on this platform to talk about firearms related stuff. And if you want to talk about things that are not firearms related, self-defense related, youtube.com/Maj2Ray for the people that just came in. Our women have to be armed. At the same time, the discussion today will be some of those practical things that can be done, and we show things that weren't done, as well as my personal opinion. And again, more of my personal stuff will be on the other YouTube channel. So in the video, edited, guy walks up, and it starts already in the middle of, aggression. The guy is, in one of the videos is basically, and I'm going to play it here shortly, is saying, do you know who I am? Who are you? You're disrespecting. And one of the women says, you're disrespecting yourself. And he says, I'm disrespecting you, expletive. And, it goes from there. And in that process of it going from there, somehow it edits again. And the individual, the male, goes to the trunk. And I think he lets off a few rounds or something like that. And the women start running. The question that we don't have an answer to in fuller context is, who was the initial aggressor and things of that nature. So let's real quick, let's look at this video. Okay. Share screen. So real briefly, y'all, here's the video. I want everybody to check this out.
Bro, gone. You're embarrassing yourself.
I'm embarrassing you.
You ain't embarrassing
Who is you? Who is you? Who is you?
Nobody to you.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
And this is when
What the?
now I'm in the video clip there because YouTube is weird. If you show a gun, if you show gunshots, they'll start tripping, anything like that. To all of the new people coming in, thank you all so much for coming in. Make sure you subscribe. Everybody to hit that like button real quick. For people that want questions, please, super chats are greatly appreciated. All of the super chat money goes to the GoFundMe work for our work at Black Guns Matter. Okay. Now in the video, if you guys have some questions about that, again, toss the questions. In that video, it's edited. It doesn't start from the beginning. And risk of sounding like a lot of these bootlickers that run to that as the go-to talking point. Shouts to Mark the Mariner with a $9 super chat. He says, empowering our women to exercise their right to defend themselves against aggression and these weirdos. Keep speaking the truth, brother. 100% I agree with that. In this video, again, at risk of sounding like a lot of these bootlicking dudes that in essence run to whenever the police have a shooting, in the middle of them having that shooting, they go to, well, we got to wait for all of the details. There's a difference between saying that legitimately and the people that just use that as a talking point to not really deal with the real context. Okay. So in risk of sounding that way, I have to say that there's a lot of context missing in this. But let's just go off of what we actually see in this particular video. And then I'll go into my opinion, which to be perfectly honest, a lot of y'all ain't really going to like this opinion. Okay. When we're talking about those women, to my understanding, none of those women were armed. It didn't look like they were armed. They also didn't pick on some of those initial points where you can start to de-escalate. Now, based on one of the young women saying that they were there dining, the young man approached them and in approaching them said, can I take y'all out? In sense, like, can I take all of these women that were there, the several women that were there? Now, again, that is hearsay. I didn't see that in the video. Nobody saw that in the video. The problem that I have with that is even in allowing that male to become that close to them. Okay, there are certain things like that are, especially when somebody's aggressive, pre-fight indicators that allow somebody to know like this is going in a more aggressive state. Now, I know in urban centers across America, we communicate with our hands. I'm from Philly. We talk with our hands all of the time. But there's certain pre-fight indicators or things that I'm going to immediately put the kibosh on when someone's trying to get a little bit too close. So that's one step. This is where self-defensive classes are very important. Okay. The other thing that I thought was very interesting was the women were recording the video, making their hands incapable because they're recording with their phone, but no one was clearing space. No one was creating space or anything of that nature. Now, your comfort with being respected, people going to respect me, can become a liability. Everyone will not respect you. Everyone will not has the best intentions for you, especially if they're already moving in an aggressive direction. We have to start getting out of this mindset that because I'm whoever I am, that life is going to be great. I live in America. I have my cup of coffee. Everything's good. It is not always good, bro. It is not always good. So those are two areas that I saw that they allowed him to close the distance while he's saying I'm a killer, while he's flashing gang signs at the same time. We don't know anything about this dude. We don't know if he came home. We don't know if he don't care about going back. There's so much information missing from this scenario that those women are just in essence allowing themselves to potentially be assaulted. Okay. Now, fortunately, to my understanding, unless new information comes out, none of those women were assaulted per se. Okay. So it goes a little bit further. And in that process, again, there's an edit. And I'll watch for everybody that's coming in again, smash that like button real quick. Make sure you're sharing it, whatever. I'll go over the video again for people that are coming in because I want to give it a breakdown from the male's perspective as well. There's another edit. And in that edit, the women are running away. Now there's captions. The person that posted it to social media put captions up that said he went to the car and got a trunk. Now you hear some noise and it's hard for me to tell if those are actually gunshots or those are things like falling, right? And they're running away, okay? You do not know what someone is, their mental space that they're in, and you do not need to let anybody get that motherfucking close to you, okay? And I'll say that again. Don't let anybody get that close to you. Now, psychologically, those women are thinking, they're not thinking about self-defense, but they're also thinking, well, it's groupthink. It's 5 or 6 of us. It's one of him. Someone's going to come to our rescue. I think in one of the other video, I think that one of the women went to go get the waiter or the wait staff. If this person is already came within the gate, is already close to you, is already yelling expletives to you, they don't care about a waiter. They don't. So you haven't created space. You've allowed this situation to continue. You haven't distanced yourself. And somebody leaves to go get a waiter to someone that's gang affiliated, whether he's active or not, we don't know, but gang affiliated, unless he's faking, throwing signs, saying whatever set he's from. And you've allowed him to close this distance. All of this is fundamentally wrong for these ladies. They were relying on fear and groupthink to make them feel safe. Now, this is the part of the conversation that some of you are going to disagree with. I'm going to hop in my Kevin Samuels bag for a quick second. The part that's missing in this, before that, let me say this. That dude is a certified lane. If it went to the extent, and there's no new information, that he came upon these women, shouts to my title, man busts on group of women. I can't say gun in the title. They're going to demonetize y'all. You know what I'm saying? If this man takes upon himself to, because of a just respectful decline of his advance, if he went all the way to going to the trunk to get a firearm, I hope they find him. I hope they lock him under the jail, especially if he let rounds off. Okay? Especially if he let rounds off. So he's all the way wrong, and I want to clarify that before I go into these next few statements. Here is where I'm going to get in my Kevin Samuels bag. Based on what I see, and this is my opinion. This looks like he came up, he got dissed, or he got declined. He was persistent. Maybe one of the cute friends said something funny. The rest of the girls laughed. He got aggressive, so forth and so on, and it continues to escalate. The problem with that is women, you need to be very careful on, you don't know who you're getting. As the things I just explained earlier. You have an option there. You have an option to maintain the standard of respect and distance, or you have the opportunity to block somebody, or you have the opportunity to stick to your guns of, I don't have to give nobody an explanation, and I'm doing the shoulder thing, right? The neck wave, finger snap shit, right? I don't owe nobody no explanation. I don't have to do any of these things. I don't have to do X, Y, and Z. Yeah, you don't have to. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Look like I gotta block somebody else too. Man, y'all are really into this, like dissing people in the comment section thing. What up, Reek? I don't have any mod. I'm new to this, y'all. I'm a caveman, so I'm gonna just keep blocking them. Either way, with that being the case, we don't have an idea of what the type of person we get. So to say, and I hear a lot of women in the comment section with this initial video on the website that I initially posted. This initial video came out, and the comment section was right with a bunch of women saying we shouldn't have to. Now I want to address that. In a potential self-defensive situation, which you should have to do, you shouldn't have to ever be in a scenario where you have to defend your life. You shouldn't, but unfortunately you may be. So this argument that those women shouldn't, we should have the respect that we deserve, but you might not always. Since you don't have the respect that you always would, the first thing is de-escalation. Rachel Ann said, shouldn't have to isn't going to keep you safe. And it's not. The other part here is, to me, what it looked like those women were egging him on because he was a lame, and they're used to being disrespectful to lames, and they pulled out their phone, which a lot of people don't like, because that means I'm going to put you on social media and I'm going to make more fun of you, even though because you're wrong. Somebody being wrong can still get you murdered. So this speaks to a bigger concept that I want our women to be very much so accountable for. And this isn't victim blaming, because I want to be clear about that. But we have to, the question was posed, who escalated this scenario? Now, again, we're missing a lot of information, but nothing in the video that these women were expressing looked like they were actually trying to de-escalate. It looked like they made fun. He felt disrespected. His ego was bruised. He's supposed to walk away, but he didn't. And since he didn't, now it's a bunch of us and you lame ass dude. We're going to keep making fun of you. We're going to pull out our phones, and it's escalated to the point where this man wrongfully goes to the trunk, get that thing out, and potentially start letting off rounds. Women, you have to be accountable for your safety. He got the drop on you. You don't know if he's armed. He got the drop on you. Y'all are seated. He stated he has an elevated position. Okay? Y'all got your hands tied up with your phone, but nobody, based on the video that we saw, thought to de-escalate. None. Now, when I say that, it's presented as if I'm victim blaming. No, but you don't know what type of person you're going to get. And as I've said this in the comment sections on that particular website's post, I got hit with it's the man's fault. Clearly, this person is wrong, emotionally frail, and not in the cool mental space. You could still die from that person, though. And it went into this position of, well, as women, whenever we're nice and respectfully decline a man's advances, he's persistent. Okay. At the same time, you say you want a man to be persistent and consistent. That doesn't mean it's okay. That doesn't mean that it's not annoying, nor does it mean it should cross a line. It doesn't. But at the same time, when it comes to your safety, you are responsible. And those women in that scenario, based on the video that we currently have access to, those women egg that scenario on. You don't know what demon you're dealing with. So now after this guy wrongfully, somebody said it. I want to read this real quick. Cody said, this is like the couple killed in Pennsylvania. The couple argues with the neighbor. He goes inside, comes out with a gun. Instead of making distance, they say, I dare you to do it. And he does it. And I remember that video. It's on my Instagram page. You're still dead. He killed himself because some extra to that story. His wife had just died from, I think, maybe cancer, if I'm not mistaken there. He had already given up with life. Come to find out, that couple was shoveling their snow into his driveway. He was already on, I don't give a fuck, my wife is gone, I don't care about much. They egged him on and it got them murdered. Then he didn't care. His partner's gone. He went in the house and he murdered himself. They were egging a scenario. It got them murdered. Those women laughing, pointing the video at the dude, don't know what type of demon that they're dealing with. He goes to the trunk. Now, fortunately, to my understanding, no one was harmed. But those women, based on the information that we have, escalated it. And I say this to people, women particularly, and when they give the perspective of, well, the guys will be consistent. Here, women, I'm gonna toss you a tool. You say, a guy says, hey, what's up, shorty? Respectfully. Hey, sis, how are you? Can I get to know you? Can I get your phone number? I think you're beautiful. Woo, 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 woo. Let's say you have a boyfriend, or you're just not interested. But let's go with boyfriend first, then we'll do not interested. Hey, I'm in a relationship. Sorry so much. I'm in a relationship. Now, let's say that guy's still persistent. Everybody in the room knows what that guy's going to say next. It's a phrase. You can't have friends. He's going to say that. I can have friends, but you're not initially trying to talk to me to just be my friend. And even that is an opening for, yes, I am. I really feel like blah, 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 blah. What you can say, women, is, listen, brother, respectfully, I know men are attacked, and I don't think that what you're doing is toxic, but I am in a committed relationship. And if I was in if your lady was in a committed relationship, you really wouldn't want her taking a number from somebody that's clearly not interested. I want to respect you, brother. Can you please respect my relationship? That answer is a top tier. You're more than likely going to get this phrase in return. Damn, you right, sis. You're still beautiful, though. Generally, we're not talking about the outliers. We're not talking about the complete weirdos, because then we got to talk about, the self-defense component of it, right? This argument that I could just ignore them. Ignoring somebody's rude, especially if somebody comes through positive. Hey, sis, how are you? You're beautiful. Can I get to know you? Generally, that's positive. I don't submit to this logic, this so-called logic, this current day thought process of respectfully trying to court a woman that you just saw and you think she's beautiful. I'm not with it. Oh, that's catcalling. Oh, that's toxic. That's bullshit to me. I don't submit to that theory at all in any way, shape, or form. Okay? But if you're doing it from a respectful manner, and if you're communicating that, and if that woman, just ignores you, and she has the right to do so, let's argue against my own point. She has the right to do so. But women, understand that could be rude, and you don't know who you're dealing with. I had this conversation with a woman earlier today, and I said, well, when the vast majority of the times that men approach you in the street, the vast majority of the times, is it when you say, hey, I'm in a relationship? Generally, what happens? Generally, it's okay, cool. You still beautiful though, sis. So forth and so on. That's what's going to happen. When you get those outliers, and you have those outliers, you have to be assertive while de-escalating and being honest. This argument of I shouldn't have to is the same as me saying I shouldn't have to show the police my hands. I don't have to, and I shouldn't have to. I should never have to ever defend myself. But I may be in that scenario. And because you don't know who that person is, like this weirdo dude, since you don't know who that person is, in essence, what's going to happen is at that moment, you're responsible for your accountability. These women in the scenario were not being responsible with or being accountable based on what I saw. I'm going to pull this video up again real quick, y'all. I want y'all to really see this again, okay? I want y'all to see this because of the fact that I think it's very important for us all to look at this and see where it actually came from, okay? Let me share this with y'all real quick. I'm going to play it again.
You're embarrassing yourself.
I'm embarrassing you.
You ain't embarrassing
Who is you?
me.
Who is you? Who is you?
Nobody to you.
You was mafia.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
What the?
Now, here's another issue too that I see here. All of that energy that they had, and this is where you got to be really, really on point. All of that energy that they had when they was throwing the phones and they allowed him to walk up to them individually, all of that tough talk Tony shit went out the window as soon as they thought he went to the car to get a firearm. Ladies, stop writing checks with your mouth that your ass can't cash. Not because you're wrong. I'm saying I respect your freedom. I respect your rights. I respect your liberties. I'm telling you that you're dealing with people that don't give a damn about none of that. A damn. So in all of the comment section, it becomes they're the victim. And they are a victim on certain levels. They are. They're a victim. They're a victim of their own ignorance in regards to self-defense. They're a victim of their own ignorance into this social media disease that a lot of us have. And they're also a victim of some weirdo dude that's lame and insecure that can't just accept it. Damn, I ran up on them. They wasn't feeling it. And they told me to skate, kick rocks. Female privilege. Somebody just said this. Female privilege will get you snuffed. Again, to everybody that's new in here, smash that like button. Share this, share this, share this. Again, we're going over the video where the man potentially bust on the group of women. But we're talking about that scenario in the restaurant. And again, if you want to support, again, with the super chats, if you got questions, comments, all that other good stuff, please throw them in the super chat so I can put you on there. All of your super chat donations go towards the work for Black Guns Matter. Now, here's where the guy. Let's get off our Kevin Samuels vibe for a moment. Let's get on our men checking men vibe for a moment. Men, you shouldn't be talking to women at all in the street. If you don't have your financial, spiritual, social, home in order, what gang you in, what job you work at, none of that matters. Right now, the attack is on masculinity tremendously. There's an attack on femininity through this whole like fake feminism thing, right? But brothers, you shouldn't be talking to women at all. That brother seemed to, so let's use him for example. If he's gang related, there's a chance that he may have already, he said it, I'm a killer. I'm a killer on camera. I'm a killer. And he's throwing up sets. I don't know what all of this shit mean. I ain't never been in no gang. I'm in the freedom gang. I'm a solutionary gang. All of this hand sign shit, secret handshake, I don't know none of that. Do I have friends that's affiliated or active? Yes. I don't deal with none of that. Okay, so just to be clear. But if he's gang affiliated and saying he's a killer, there's a strong chance that he is a convicted felon. If he's a convicted felon and if it's proven that he had a firearm, now he's on camera all over social media, all over the internet. Oh, the brother's going to jail because everybody telling, and rightfully so. Brothers, if your ego is that frail to the point where you can't handle no, you should not be talking to women. If your life and your house is not in order, let me clarify this for you. If you don't make at least $500,000 a year, don't have $100,000, and that's all relative. If you make $50,000 a year, I'm gonna need you to have $5,000 to $10,000 saved. And you need to be talking to the women once you got a lot of your life in order. So that eliminates a lot of the potential for you to even be disrespected or feel disrespected because your frail ego can't handle it. Your life probably ain't all the way in order, so you shouldn't be hollering at no women in the first place. That's number one. Number two, women don't owe you anything, bruh. You think you look cool in that outfit that you got on. You think because you got big muscles or you tall, she might like slim, short dudes. You just ain't her type, bruh. How about you go get some money and some power first? If you allow your ego to the point where, one, you think that you God's gift to women, that I'm going to just interrupt their damn meal, because they were having a meal, having a good time, having a girls' night out. If you think you should be able to walk in the middle of their meal while they're eating, have one or two or a few of them listen to you, then get offended when the result isn't in your favor, that says more about your weakness than it does them at all. This does not excuse the reaction or the level of rudeness, but each side, the male or the female side, has to look at themselves. If I'm saying the women got to be accountable for how they engaged, men, you have to be accountable for how you engage. This clown ass dude jumps in the middle of all of that. Let me tell you the baller move there. Let me give you a tool. The baller move there is, let me get a table. Let me have a drink. I'm interested in the one with the blue dress. Hey, pay for all of it. They tab on me. Let them know now. They tab on me. If that's what you into. If your financial, political, social life is in order, spiritual life is in order. You know what's going to happen then? You don't have to approach them. More than likely, unless they trash women. More than likely, one or a few of them are going to come over to you and say, thank you for that. And if you let it be known that you're interested in the one with the blue dress, more than likely that'll be the one in the blue dress. Now you're courting them or her your way. But you can only do that if your money in position. You coming off dude came off the middle of the street because they were sitting outside. You walk up off the middle of the street thinking somebody owe you something and then get mad when they rude. And accept the fact that everybody, even if you do if you did everything I just said, every single portion of it, and those women completely ignore you, they have the freedom and right to do so. You got to look at why you chasing women so much. You got to look at why can't I handle rejection? They don't, even if you pay for the grub, they have the right to just ignore you. They didn't ask you to pay for that. Chalk it to the game, brother. But no, this clown decides to potential threaten a bunch of women. I'd roll the dice and bet money that he ain't never dealt with men with that same level of aggression. A group of men, strong men, look like they go to the gym, got their thing in order, look like they got that thing on them. I bet you he ain't do that. These are all areas that we have to hold ourselves individually. Men, we got to hold ourselves accountable. And women, you got to hold yourselves accountable too. Because all I'm noticing in these comment sections is a bunch of people saying how he's wrong. And clearly he's wrong. Duh. We ain't even got to evaluate that. The problem is everybody handling that. Bill Burr had a joke where he talked about everybody handles it like the Chris Brown Rihanna thing. Okay, they got into a fight. But I got to ask, how did we get to this point? We gotta ask that question. How did it get to this point? Were the women just all, and in the video, they were not. The women weren't all just like, please, brother, we just trying to have a good meal. We all of us are in relationships. We're not being disrespectful. I'm willing to bet that response would have garnered a different reaction. I remember, if I had to roll the dice, I'd roll the dice that way. And these are all women that were talking heavy in that video, which is their right. But talking heavy, you got to be able to stand heavy too. As soon as there was the potential for him going to get a gun out the trunk, all of those women, they knew how to create space then. Self-defense. BB Gaines just said, sometimes even when I'm polite, men act crazy when rejected. Let's go back a bit. So what? If they act crazy and you armed and you were respectful, your standard is respect. I'm going to be respected and I'm going to respect. Donna Kurgis just with the $5, they didn't say nothing. Donna, you ain't say nothing. With the $5 super chat, I appreciate that. So what? If they get disrespectful after you were respectful, you get to create space and walk away. You did your part. And if you're armed with a flashlight, armed with a firearm, armed with pepper spray, armed with mace, armed with a taser, armed with whatever, and knowing your situational awareness, knowing the reality that, you're not going to get too far with it. We're going to keep it nice and socially distant around here. Okay? This ain't something that I'm just telling specifically to women. In this scenario, I'm saying it because none of those women had any type of self-defense of anything in that moment, right? And they was doing a lot of this. A lot of this. A lot of those women wouldn't have been doing all of this talking if they had more understanding of situational awareness, separating, creating space, not allowing somebody else to close the distance. Not the first thing you're doing is laughing and exaggerating the situation instead of de-escalating it. All of these things can get you murdered. Women, please sign up, take a self-defensive class. You know what I mean? Let's take a few questions. I ain't taking no questions. Donna, if you want, Donna was the last super chat. Donna, if you want to ask a question, go ahead so I can put that on the thing. It's not, I'm not saying that women can't talk. I'm saying that reverse it for a guy. Reverse it for a guy. If you're a guy and you're talking and you're saying a bunch of shit and your self-defensive scenario is trash, and then when somebody snuffs you or tries to put you in a chokehold, and they could be wrong, you could still be choked. You could still get shanked, stabbed, shot. It is what it is. It is what it is. So I want to end off on that. Let's all make sure that we are supportive of our men and women getting self-defensive training. I want everybody taking some boxing, some cardio, right? Because if you're in a tussle, if you're rolling around on the ground, that might be the longest 3 minutes of your life, and it's a different type of cardio. I want us to, as men, I want us to make sure that we are handling rejection. Before you even get to rejection, you got to get your financial and social and mental space in order, because if that's not in order, you shouldn't be hollering at no women in the first place. And women, stop all of this. You could be right as the day is long, and that man, like that dude in Pennsylvania, could just go to his trunk, get a firearm, and murder all of y'all in cold blood. You're right, but you're dead. Okay? Reek, my man Reek said, my wife turned down dudes respectfully all the time because she knows if shit get out of hand, it will be easy to put a dude down because right. Geneva Carey. So, you know what I'm saying? They not even getting that in that space. That mindset is key. These women did not exhibit that mindset. Based on the limited videos and clips that we saw, those women exaggerated the situation with a guy that was an outlier. I'm going to show this video one last time, and then we're going to get out of here. If you have super chats, I want everybody to smash that like button. If you have super chats, do that right now. So when we finish watching this video again, I can go ahead and address your questions and comments. I'm going to go over this video one more time right quick. All right, let's see what we got here. Because this is insane, man. Let's play this again.
Bro, gone. You're embarrassing yourself.
I'm embarrassing you.
You ain't embarrassing
Who is you?
me.
Who is you? Who is you?
Nobody to you.
You was mocking.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
What the?
That's what I'm talking about, y'all. That's what I'm talking about. Jason Bourne with the $4.99 super chat. Jason, you ain't say nothing. Jason, say something. So that's, again, the video, y'all, where those women, in my opinion, those women did egg the situation on a little bit because they were right. You don't get to just walk into somebody's, private space and then in the process of walking in that private space, demand something, however polite you are. Okay, you don't. P. Jones says, did you talk about the Oakland side so shooting? No, I didn't. I'm not familiar with that. Everybody, make sure, follow me on social media. Send me that link, P. Jones. I appreciate you with the $5 chat there, too. The fat guy with a gun, appreciate the work. $10, appreciate you, too, fat guy with a gun. If you got a business right now, if you got something that you're doing, throw it in the super chat so I can give you that shout out, too. All right? Again, y'all, these are things that we got to really, really, really evaluate. We really have to evaluate these things. We can't just go, oh, he was wrong, so we don't evaluate the women's, especially from a defensive gun usage or a self-defensive scenario. We can't just leave that out because he was wrong, okay? We also can't leave him out and his way. I hope he goes to jail, right? We can't, if he had a firearm, because that remains to be seen. I didn't see a firearm, and the thing that I sent, that the loud noise that I heard, it didn't really sound like a round was, let off. You know what I mean? But if he did, if he brandished, you don't just get to brandish a gun to threaten somebody, especially a bunch of women because you insecure because they made fun of your t-shirt. Like, whatever, bro. Again, y'all, everybody, remember, solutionarylifestyle.org. The Solutionary Summit is September the 3rd through the 5th. We got a lot of good stuff going on at this, at this Solutionary Summit. A lot of good stuff. We got Dr. Boyce Watkins. We got Tone Trump. We got, who else did we get? We got Ed Calderon. I mean, hey, that's on the yacht. If you get the yacht tickets, then you if you don't know who Ed Calderon is, we got Akil from Taylor Defense Training Group. We got Larry Sharp. We got Angela Stanton King. We got some of the favorites from last year. We got a few more new little secret surprises too. Jay Hugh, forever a supporter. Keep doing your thing, Maj. Come back to San Antonio so we can go shooting. I'm actually going to be in Dallas next week for a show. The podcaster's name rhymes with Smalek's Phones. So I'll be in Dallas next week for that. But again, y'all, Solutionary Summit, please send the links. Tweet that out to everybody. Solutionarylifestyle.org. You can see the difference. It's in Miami. It's going to be cold, the Northeast, in September. It ain't going to be cold in Miami. We got some great stuff coming out. It's a 2-day event. It's 3 days for the people that's going to do the yacht thing. But we want everybody to pull up. Last year we did it in Atlanta, and it was cool, but we're restricted by, it still was great, but we had to keep it under a certain capacity. We got a whole bunch of businesses coming, all that other good stuff, and we're going to have a good time. So everybody go tweet out solutionarylifestyle.org, grab some tickets. It's a 2-3 day event. Pull up, have a good time. Make sure that y'all like this, share it, comment. I appreciate you all. And lastly, well, 2 things. 1, youtube.com/Maj Toure. This type of conversation, I was able to sneak this on the Black Guns Matter page because it was gun related and self-defensive related, but actually some of my more opinionated stuff that doesn't have anything to do with firearms. Please subscribe to that channel. I made it like, one, y'all gonna see some videos on there from like 9 years ago when I didn't even have a beard. You know what I'm saying? So that's an interesting blast from the past. But at the same time, I think we're going to do self-defensive and gun-related content here, and my opinions and views on that page. So subscribe to that. And again, lastly, tweet out, Facebook out, Instagram out, solutionarylifestyle.org. I hope to see you all there. CPAC, July, a bunch of other stuff coming up, and I appreciate you all. Y'all be safe. Share this. Be solutionary.